All right, everyone, welcome back. In this video, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about how to use the Google Hangouts Meet platform in order to schedule a class meeting or a lecture or a class discussion if you have enough students that are available at the same time that want to do that. This is the same platform that I hosted the web training on Tuesday, March 17th at the building. In order to use this, you will need to use your bxtrumanhighschool.com account. You cannot use Google Hangouts Meet with your personal Gmail. Okay, so that's just something you got to know. Now, in order to start a Google Hangouts meeting, you go to hangouts.google.com / and the word meet. Now, the Meet setup allows you to have up to 250 viewers at one time. It also allows you to record the session and save it to your Google Drive. So, as I go through the login process, we're going to verify that it's me. I'm going to hit Next. It's going to ask for my BX Truman password, which has already been entered there. And the first screen you're going to see is something that looks like this. You can see the date and time I'm recording this. We don't have anything scheduled in the Google Calendar, so it doesn't have anything scheduled there. But what you're going to do is start off by make sure that it's your Google account up here in the corner. You can always verify that by clicking, make sure it's your account and not someone else's that was using your computer. You're going to click Join or Start a Meeting. It's going to ask for a meeting code or a meeting nickname. You can leave this blank if you want to, but you can throw in a nickname like Truman Staff or Truman Test. All that allows you to do is if someone else is logging in from their BX Truman account, they can enter in this short code and it will find the meeting and join. But you don't really have to worry about that. I just throw it in there for something to do. When I click Continue, it's going to open up the meeting interface. It's going to ask me, do I allow this website to use my microphone and my webcam? This is the microphone I'm using. I'm going to tell it go ahead and allow that. And this is the camera I'm using. I'm going to tell it go ahead and allow that. Each web browser will have a different looking pop-up. So there's my webcam. You're looking in my messy apartment. Okay. So this is the front page of the meeting. No one else is here. I'm going to go ahead and click Join Now. People can also join this meeting using a telephone. They can call in to a phone number that's provided by Google, and they can enter in a meeting code and join the meeting and listen in that way. So let's go ahead. I'm going to just move my webcam over here so I don't feel like I'm looking at you from a strange angle. There we go. All right, that works. Don't mind the apartment. All right, so I'm going to click Join Now. And in order to add others, it says, here's your meeting nickname. That can only be used if someone's logging in from the Truman High School domain. You can share this info with people you want in the meeting. Now, this changes every time you start a new meeting. So what you should not do is create a meeting and then, for 3 hours from now or for tomorrow or for next week, and then post the link into Google Classroom for your students to join. It's not going to work, okay? What you're going to want to do is create the meeting, blast it out maybe an hour before you're ready to go. Alert the students, hey, Friday at 2 p.m. I'm going to have office hours, so to speak, where kids can come in and ask questions or get direct feedback. But open the thing up a little early so you can blast out this URL right here. Very, very important. This code at the end is what's going to direct them into this meeting. So as long as they put this URL right here into the web browser or into their phone, into the Google Hangouts Meet application, they should be good to go. You can very easily copy by just clicking here, and it copies to the clipboard, which you can then paste into an email, a text message, or a Google Classroom post, or even a Pupil Path blast. It's up to you. They're also going to give you a dial-in phone number and a PIN. I'm not going to demonstrate that for you, but all they have to do is dial that 240 number on their cell phone, enter that PIN number with the pound sign, and they'll get to hear everything that's going on in the meeting. All right, so that's how you add other people. You can also add people directly using their account. So I could type in, Bowie or whatever, and it's going to send that person directly an invitation to the meeting. You can also put someone's phone number in, and Google will actually call their phone and get them into the call that way. I believe the guidance department, maybe you could schedule some of your IEP meetings this way if there's multiple people that need to be involved. I think this would be a handy way to do that as well. So lots of ways to add people to a Google Hangouts meeting. Once you're in the meeting interface, this is what it looks like. Okay. Lower left corner, if I hit that menu, this just gives you the details of the meeting where you can copy the info. If people attach any sort of Google Calendar stuff, they'll show up there. We don't really use that. These buttons down here will mute the microphone. So if I press this, if I turn it back on, you can hear me again. This button right here turns the camera off. You can still talk during a camera off session, but you can't be seen. And you can hang up or leave the call by pressing the hook button there. Google also provides a handy ability to do captions, and it does a pretty good job, especially if only one person is speaking at a time. You can see the live captions that are being recorded right now. This is especially handy for our HES folks and our hard of hearing people. But it also, for our English language learners can be a little bit of an assistance as well. I've not tried it in Spanish. Yo no sé si trabaja en español. No, I don't know. Yeah, it looks like it's going to try and work in Spanish. Look at that. So this can work on a various number of levels. You can turn the captions on and off by clicking down here. And also the participants in your meeting have the choice of turning the captions on and off themselves. Google will also caption the other person who's speaking back to you. Okay. If you have something you want to show people from your computer, I look like I just rolled out of bed. You can click this Present Now button. When I click Present Now, you can choose to present your entire screen, whatever's on your computer at that moment, or just simply one particular window. This is great if you're trying to do some online instruction or help your kids with a particular worksheet or something like that, or a mathematical scenario, whatever, Castle Learning. It's a great way. You can give permission to the web browser. Will you allow Google to see your screen? Sure. I'll let it see the meeting, which is what we're in right now. Well, let's show you this in the Slack. Okay, so that's the window that it's going to share when I hit allow. That's going to be the screen that is presented. You'll see I have this Slack window open from another training video that I was doing earlier this evening. So I'm going to stop presenting by pressing the green button. When I click stop presenting, it'll bring back the video screen, and I'm back to where I was in the beginning. Lower right-hand corner, your contextual menu. You can change the layout of your screen. You can have your viewers in a sidebar. You can spotlight one speaker at a time. You can do a tiled look if there's only a few people. I like to set it on auto and let Google decide. It's pretty smart. Its algorithms know what it wants to do, and it'll pick a good layout for you. You can also go full screen with it. It's very simply what it is. I'm going to exit full screen because I hate full screen. You can do the captions. You can change particular settings for your meeting, which microphone and speakers you're using. If you're having difficulty with your audio, you can test and make sure that your speakers are working. You can also check your webcam, set some resolution settings, things you're probably not going to need to worry about. You can also use a telephone for audio if you don't have a microphone built into your computer. If you click on this, it will ask you to punch in your phone number, and when you answer the call, press 1 to connect, and then you'll be able to speak through your phone, and everyone in the meeting will hear you. So even if you don't have a microphone connected to your computer, you can still do that. You can do a call me, or you can actually dial in and enter that PIN number and use your telephone for audio. So Google has tried to cover all the bases when it comes to making this technology accessible to you and to your students. All right, that's all you need from the contextual menu. Also very important, record the meeting, right? Not everyone can be there at the same time. Just like the meeting I did on Tuesday, we recorded it, made it available on Google Classroom in the training videos folder, and I also uploaded it to YouTube. This is just a window saying that you want to get consent from everyone in the meeting, let them know you're recording, and click accept. In the upper left-hand corner, it'll take a moment, but once it gets started, you'll see it says recording, and we heard that little sound. So everything in this particular conversation is being recorded. I'm going to stop the recording, and then I'll show you where that will get saved to the Google Drive. So I'm going to stop recording now, stop recording, and it's going to go into my Google Drive, which I'll show you in a little bit. If I click up here, it's going to show me all the participants in the Google meeting. Again, I can add people directly by name. It'll send them an email invite and probably pop an alert up on their phone as well. There's also a chat window, which many of you guys used, folks used during the training on Tuesday. Here people can type their questions and they can respond to each other. You can have group discussions. It was a great way to keep track of all the questions that were coming in at one time during the training for me, because there were so many questions to keep track of. All right, I think we've covered the basics. I think that's it. That is an overview of Google Hangouts Meet. It is available as an app on your phone. I don't know if you'll be able to see this on my phone, but it's called there's one called Google Hangouts and one called Hangouts Meet. Make sure you get the one called Meet. It's very, very important. Okay. I don't know that you can't really see that well, but when you do it on Google Hangouts Meet, when you're signed in with your BX Truman account, it will give you two options. You can't really see that. Sorry about that. One of the options is new meeting, which you can start your own, or enter a meeting code, and that would be where your students could enter the meeting code that you publish online. So that is accessible there. And a lot of the functions, muting your mic, muting your camera, are buttons at the bottom. You can hit the little pop-up menu up in the corner and get different settings as well. Very simple, very easy interface, and something that the students can access from their mobile devices, both Android and iPhone. Okay, I think that's it. I'll be available in the Google Hangouts Meet if you have any specific questions about Google Hangouts Meet. This is another great way to record a lesson. Again, you can do that down here where you tell it to record the meeting and tell it to record your entire screen instead of just a particular window. So if you record, actually, no, I'm sorry. It'll record what's in the call, but if you turn on your presentation and present your entire screen, guess what? Now I can tell it to record screen 2, I believe is the screen I'm on. Yep, that's the screen I'm on. Hit allow. So now Google Hangouts is recording my entire computer screen. So this is a way you can actually record an entire lesson or screen capture using Google Hangouts Meet. I'm going to stop presenting for a moment, bring it back to the window, and stop that recording. So another way, and I'm going to do a separate video or separate training on how to use Google Hangouts Meet to record a screencast by yourself without any students in the meeting. So that'll be a separate training we'll do another time. But you see how you could do that by simply recording the meeting and then presenting your screen and then telling it record the whole screen, not just one particular window. Now, the last thing I want to show you as part of this lesson, and I don't want to feel like I'm jumping around too much, but when we were recording this Google Hangout, I want to show you where it's going to end up inside of your Google Drive. So I'm going to open a new tab. I'm going to leave this one open and just go to a new tab. And I'm going to go to drive.google.com. I'll log in, make sure I should stay logged in with my BX Truman account, which is right here, Rouship BX Truman. And if I look in my drive, now I've got a lot of stuff going on in my drive here, but you should find a folder in your drive that says, let's see, what's it called? Meet Recordings, right here. Meet Recordings. Okay, I have a whole other lot of folders going on. Ignore that. Yours should have a folder called Meet Recordings. If I open that up, inside of Meet Recordings, you'll see that it has meetings by code. That was the code that was at the end of the URL. See the QWNZZIYMJD. Those are the recordings. You can take those. You can click on them and download them by clicking here and going to download. That'll download a video file right to your computer's hard drive. You can open them up inside of Google, and it looks like this one's still processing, so it's not going to let me see it right this moment. Maybe this one's done processing. Nope, not done yet. So it takes some time to process. Then you can click on them, open them up. You can insert them once they're in your Google Drive. You can insert them into a Google Classroom lesson. So if you record a video, it's saved in these Meet Recordings. If you don't like this code here, this funny little code, very easy. Right click, rename, and you can call this Google Meets Hangout Lesson. Okay? And now that file is renamed to whatever you want. We'll call that part 1, and we'll call this other one part 2. That way the files have some sort of meaning to you and meaning to the students. Google Meets Hangout Lesson 2. All right, and all the recordings of those meetings, those conferences, go into my Google Drive under Meet Recordings. They'll have the code from the conference as their name, which you can then rename into anything that you like. I think that basically covers it for Google Hangouts Meet. If you have any questions, hit me up in the Google Hangouts Meet that we have going at any given time, or you can email me or text me your questions.